pumpkin phyllo recipe that you can make all year round. Sally that girl in the kitchen. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sally that girl in the kitchen. In today's episode, I'm going to teach you how to make my shortcut version of my pumpkin phyllo shells. So why do I call this a shortcut version? Because if you've watched my channel before, I make some delicious phyllo triangles that I fold in a traditional flat fold, and I fill those with pumpkin, but I actually make that filling myself with actual pumpkin that I cut up and I prepare, and then I create the filling and fold them, and it's a little bit of a process. So I've come up with this version as a shortcut to that recipe, which is fabulous, but it's definitely a little more labor intensive, and this one is super easy, just as delicious, and you're not going to believe how simple it is to make. I have been asked over and over if I could please share how I make it and how it's still so yummy, and I'm going to do exactly that today. So this recipe is perfect for any time of the year, and of course, as I'm recording this, we're entering the fall, and it's just an absolutely delicious fall recipe. I like to say that my grandmothers, my Sephardic Turkish grandmothers, were trendsetters because this is the ultimate pumpkin spice type of recipe, but this is a recipe based on something that my grandmothers did generations ago, and it's just perfect. It was great then, it's great now, and I am super excited to teach you how to make it. So this can be used as an appetizer, and even though we just passed the Jewish high holidays, we can also use this when we want to do our pumpkin prayer during the holidays, and it's so easy when you've got all that cooking going on. This is a simple way to get that pumpkin on our table and have all of the symbolic foods, and I'm telling you, the other way is also great, but this is so easy. So I am super excited to teach you how to make it. So let's not wait another second, and let's get started. For today's recipe, you will need 15 ounces of canned unsweetened pumpkin, 2 tablespoons of non-dairy, vegan, or parve margarine. Of course, if you want to keep this a dairy recipe, then you can use butter instead. A half a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/8 of a cup of packed dark brown sugar, a 1/4 cup of regular white sugar, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon powder, 1 large egg, and 1 or more boxes of 15 phyllo shells. We're going to be making enough filling to fill about 30 or 40 shells, so you can buy more boxes if you want to make a larger quantity of shells. You will also need a can opener, some tongs, a cute little platter for serving. You'll need a small bowl, a medium-sized oven-safe baking dish such as a round Pyrex. You'll need a medium-sized bowl, some dry measuring cups, some measuring spoons, some oven mitts. You'll need a teaspoon, a fork, and a serving spoon. And I'm also using a small tray to fit in my toaster oven that I'm going to wrap with aluminum foil. But you can use a tray and use your regular oven, or you could even toast your shells up in the air fryer. And just how adorable is this cute pumpkin pie plate? I can't wait to use it. So now that we have all of our ingredients and tools together, let's get started. So the first thing you're going to want to do is preheat your oven to 350 degrees, making sure you have a rack placed in the center. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on my toaster oven, and I'm also going to preheat that to 350. It's only going to take 5 minutes to toast up my shells in a toaster oven. So now I'm going to grab a medium-sized bowl, and I'm going to open up my can of 100% pumpkin, and I'm just going to add all that yummy goodness into my bowl. And then I'm going to measure out 2 tablespoons of my non-dairy margarine. I'm going to melt that in the microwave for about 20 or 30 seconds and pour that in. It just makes it easier. Then I'm going to add in my half a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of cinnamon powder, and then I'm going to add in 1/4 of a cup of sugar, and then 1/8 of a cup of dark brown sugar that I have packed in well. And then I'm just going to use my serving spoon and just stir this all together. I just want to break up any clumps and then just mix it all real well until it's nice and smooth. And this is where I'd like to taste it. Yep, make sure it's perfect. It's got the right balance of sweetness. It's just absolutely divine. So now I'm going to grab 1 large egg, and what you want to do is you want to beat that egg well, and then you're going to add it into the pumpkin mixture. Of course, if you want to keep this vegan, you can completely omit the egg. It is totally fine. But I find that it gives the mixture a little bit of texture. So then I just add in that beaten egg, and once again, I use my spoon, and we're going to stir that in real well. And then that's it. You see how nice and creamy and thick this is? It's just perfect. And how easy was that? The filling was ready in a matter of minutes. So now I'm grabbing my oven safe Pyrex, and I'm just going to give it a little spray with nonstick cooking spray. And then I'm going to add in my delicious pumpkin filling. And then this is going to go into the oven. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to smoothen the top out real nicely, just so it'll look pretty. And then I'm just going to place it in the oven and set a 30-minute timer. And then about 10 minutes before that timer is set to go off, I prepare my tray, I lay out my phyllo shells, and I pop them in my toaster oven for 5 minutes, and they'll get crispy and golden and toasty. And this way they'll be warm and crispy and ready just about the same time that our filling is ready to come out of the oven. So now I prepare my serving platter, and I'm just going to transfer these over carefully. I'm using tongs because they're still hot from the oven, and then they are ready to be filled. So now my filling is ready, and it's smelling incredible. That cinnamon and vanilla, oh my goodness, together with the pumpkin, it's just absolutely perfect. And it's just slightly golden, and it's just the perfect filling for these little phyllo shells. So delicious. So then I just grab a teaspoon and I fill away. Now, why don't I warm those shells with the filling in them? Because if not, they'll get soggy. And this way, the phyllo shells stay nice and crispy, and they're the perfect contrast to that creamy filling. Just absolutely divine and so easy. You saw how quickly those shells toasted up, and that filling was so easy to make because we used canned pumpkin instead of fresh pumpkin, and it's just crazy how easy this is. And that is a great side. You can just scoop some of that onto your plate, or of course you can make more of these because they're super delicious and they just get consumed in 1 or 2 bites. A tasty little appetizer, just absolutely perfect. And if you want to elevate it, make it fancier, add some caramelized onions or even goat cheese. Of course, it'll be dairy, but it'll be an amazing little appetizer. So good. 2 little bites of flaky deliciousness. Amazing. Easy. Yummy. Perfect for the fall. Just a great little pumpkin appetizer. Just absolutely divine. Just listen to that crunch. So good. And let's not forget that extra bit of filling. I mean, that's perfect as a little sweet side. So yummy and so easy. This is great for a holiday. It's just absolutely yummy. It's got the perfect blend of sweetness and spices. Super yummy, that touch of vanilla. It's perfect. It's creamy. So good. So how crazy yummy do these little guys look? I'm telling you, so easy. We used a can and no one will know the difference because honestly, it's just as yummy as when we make it ourselves. And sometimes we just want to save time. And as I mentioned before, it's perfect as is. It's got that little crispiness and that creaminess, but you can play with this. As I said, some goat cheese or something funky on top would be great. Maybe some caramelized onions. There's so many ways you can elevate this even more and make it a cute little appetizer. People are going to be super impressed and they don't need to know how easy it was. Unless of course you tell them Sally, that girl in the kitchen, taught you how to make them so that they can learn how to make them too. Anyway, I'm super happy that you're here watching my recipes. I want to take a moment to thank you, especially to those of you who are here with me all of the time whenever I put out new content. So thank you so much for watching. And of course, if you're not already subscribed here on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to Sally That Girl in the Kitchen and to follow me on social media. I am all over. Let me see. I am on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest as Sally That Girl in the Kitchen. And you can find me on Twitter, X, Snapchat, and TikTok as Sally That Girl FL. And of course, don't forget my Amazon shop where I feature a lot of the products that I use here when I make these recipes. You can get there by visiting amazon.com/shop/ it's a lot of slash, Sally That Girl in the Kitchen with no spaces. Or of course, you can find that link on my social media pages, on the banner on my YouTube channel, so you can find it pretty easily. And as I always say, I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Sally That Girl in the Kitchen.